Hey everyone, Seward here. I am going to have you go to my student share folder. You're going to go and look for sim, and in there is another folder called container. I want you to right click on that and copy it and then paste it into your home directory. And the reason we're doing that is there's a couple files in there. And what they are is this guy right here. It's called containerbase.ipt, and then we have containerlid.ipt. So you can pause the video and take a second and do exactly that. Okay, now it doesn't matter which one of these. I'm going to start with the container base. And actually, when I think you bring this in, it comes in like this. And what you want to do is you want to look at that surface that I just had facing you. So you're going to click on, I just clicked on the cube, the view cube there, the corner, and brought it so that I have it oriented like you see it on the screen right now. And I'm going to do a couple things here. First of all, I want to identify something. This surface that's highlighted in green right now, and it's green here, and then you can see the same thing on the bottom. It's this, and there's one on the opposite side. Anyways, that's called our clamping flange, and we're going to use that when we put these into the CNC machine to mill with them. So what you're going to need to do is make sure that any modifications that you make to these parts right now are going to not cut into the clamping flange. So don't touch that surface around the entire part, okay? All right, so the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to use the fillet tool, and this is the fillet tool. I'm going to put in a radius of 0.25 inches. And I'm going to come out here and I'm going to click on that edge. I can do the same thing on the opposite side. I can catch the bottom one there. Then I'm just going to flip this on its edge, and then I'm going to apply those and hit cancel. So that gives me a radius on those four corners. Now, the next thing is I'm going to start a 2D sketch right there. I'm going to put it on this first stepped down surface. And that is where my sketch is going to go. And I'll, whoops, there we go. Bring it in nice and tight so we can see it. We're going to use the project geometry tool. That's this guy right here. I'll show you this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to activate that tool. Then I'm going to click on this outside lip of the rim, and I'm going to move or use the offset tool. And I'm going to move that offset tool out 0.05 inches, and I'm going to turn that into a construction line. So I activate project geometry and I just click on that one line. Then I select offset and I click back on that, and I pull this out and I put in 0.05 and I hit return. Now I'm going to also select that line, and then I'm going to turn it into construction. And when it's a construction line, when it's dashed like that. Now, this area that I just did that with, okay, is like a no-go zone or a safety zone. It's the area where we don't want to go any further in because we could get into this rim right here. So we want to stay 50 thousandths away from this edge of the rim. And that's because this is all going to fit together with the top of our box. So we can't mess up this edge at all. All right. Now Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use the arc tool, and that's this guy right here. And I'm going to actually create an arc by going to the tangency point of this radius on the corner and this straight line right here. And when I bring my cursor over to it, it becomes green. So I'm going to click on that. And then I'm going to pull this off to the other end. And down here, it says, down here at the bottom, it says select the end of the arc. So I'm going to go down to the other tangency point and click. And then for the third point, it's going to ask me to select the end of, or the point on the arc, which is going to be the midpoint of that construction line that we just created. And I'm going to start the line tool. And I'm going to click here, and I'm going to go to the other end of that arc and click again. And I want to make sure that my construction tool is turned off, and it is. See, none of those lines are dashed or dotted. Okay, now I'm going to finish my sketch. And then I am going to do an extrude. And this is going to be a cut. So that is down here where it says output. It's a cut. And I'm going to go to a surface. And the surface I'm going to pick is that surface where our box bottom meets the clamping flange. So I'm going to click that, and then I'll say OK. And if you take a look at this right from the front, you're going to see that I now have a nice little arc in this thing. So I'm going to bring this back up here. Now we want to keep our box symmetrical. So I want to put this same arc on this side. And frankly, I could repeat all the steps that I just went through to do this. But as always, there's an easier way. So I'm going to go to our feature tree on the left-hand side. I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to start looking for planes. So this plane goes directly down the middle of the box, the short way. And then this one, I think, let's see here. Oh, no, it doesn't work. I thought that one would go right down through it. All right, so it doesn't. Okay, well, that's easy to fix. I'm actually going to turn on this XZ plane. I'm going to right click and change its visibility so that we can see it nice and easy. Now I'm going to do something here. You don't have to do this step, but I'm going to hit Tool, and I'm going to measure. I want to know how long this line is right here, and it's 3.25 inches. Okay, so let's keep that in mind. Now I'm going to go to Plane and click on this. I'm going to select the XZ plane. I'm going to pull this up, and I am going to set this new plane at the middle of that 3.25 inches. Now I got to be honest with you, I'm not really going to do the math here. I'm going to put in 3.25, at least I'm not going to do it in my head, and I'm going to do a division sign, 2, and then I'm going to green check mark. Now when I look at this from the front, I can see that I have a plane going through the middle of my part. And I can turn off the visibility of that XZ plane just to keep things from getting too confused. All right, back to being efficient. Now, I want to use the mirror tool. And the mirror tool is right here. It's in the pattern box. I'm going to click on mirror. And the feature that I want to mirror is that feature right there, the arc. I'm going to select the word mirror plane, and I'm going to hit that plane. And if you take a look down here, what you're going to see is it's giving you a preview of what that's going to look like. And I'm going to say OK. Now I've got, and by the way, I can turn off this work plane's visibility now. Turn that off. Okay. Now I've got the arcs on both sides of the box. You want to repeat that process on this top part. You want, when the two boxes are put together, for them to match up perfectly. So I'm going to go offline. I'm going to put you on pause for a moment, and I'm going to do this, and then I'll show you an assembly of the two pieces put together. I didn't start it. Yes, I did. Okay, so what I've done here is I have added color to the container lid just to make it a little bit easier maybe to see. So I've turned the container lid blue and the container base red. Now I have put these two things together just to demonstrate to you that these arcs are the same on both the top and the bottom. So after you get done doing the container base with the arcs, you do the same thing to the container lid. You should also put arcs on both ends of the lid and the base. You want the sides to match up so that they come out looking like this. Now, in a later step, what we're actually going to do is we're going to machine off the clamping flange on the top, and you are going to design your own, put your own design into the lid of the clamping, or into the lid of the box. So that's what you need to do.